Thank you very much for asking me to join you on the panel. It's a great privilege to be here. I haven't actually prepared a presentation, but I've just got a few reflections. First of all, apologies for having to speak in English. It's the thing that we English do. We don't speak foreign languages very well. But I think a number of things immediately come to mind. I'm a doctor. I've been looking after people with HIV since the beginning of the epidemic in London. And so, of course, as a doctor now with tools in my hand to treat people and to make sure people stay well and to offer a near normal life expectancy and the possibility of people making families is just too good to not be able to utilize wherever we can possibly utilize it. And so, of course, I think we as a clinical professional group have a real duty to make sure that we are delivering the tools that we have in the most efficient way that we can. And so we were absolutely delighted with HIV Testing Week and the uptake that the National Health Service in the UK has done with that, because we've managed to persuade our Chief Medical Officer to put out a letter. A letter's gone from the top of the policy agenda to every doctor in the UK, because actually it is shocking. It is so shocking to think that people can go into a doctor's surgery with symptoms, with signs of an indicated condition, and 25% of those people walk out again without a test, without a diagnosis. If that was breast cancer, I can tell you we would not be having anything like this. It is an outrage that in 2013 that is happening in advanced medical systems. And so if HIV Testing Week can help with that, I'm absolutely delighted. We have a big issue in England, which the Scots have avoided, and that is that our government have chosen to throw our health system up into the air and the pieces are scattered. And we find ourselves now in a really complicated place because the people who pay for testing and prevention are different from the people who pay for treatment and care. And so we in England have to be meticulous now in making sure that those bits are carefully joined up. And actually the advantages are twofold. Firstly, the diagnosis prevention aspects have now gone to local government, and that means that local populations and local politicians are responsible for their local populations. And so hopefully that will encourage people to take HIV more seriously. And it means we have equity of care nationally for treatment, but we've got to be able to join it up. The last point I would like to make, which I think is absolutely crucial, I keep on about this in England until everybody's fed up, but I'm in Portugal now, so you haven't heard me say it so often, and that is that most people who take a test in HIV Testing Week are going to test negative. And one of the big issues that we face is the sense that a negative test is a worthless piece of information, it costs money, and hey, we're only picking up a few people who are positive. Why are we doing it? Well, of course we're doing it, because a negative test in today's world is itself a diagnosis. It's a really important diagnosis. It's not a little text message saying you're fine. It's a diagnosis of being HIV negative and requiring the information, the tools to prevent acquisition. People living with HIV have the tools and the wherewithal to prevent transmission. People who are HIV-free have the tools and the wherewithal to prevent acquisition. And only by testing will those people have those tools at their disposal. So a negative test is worth its weight in gold, and don't let people who pay for them tell you different.